Well, good evening and welcome to another Monday Night Live. We're getting ready to have a good program tonight. We talked to a brother just a few weeks ago talking about Alabama tourism. And I think the summer's almost over, but it's not too late to experience some of the great things that go on right here in our state and various events that we've got going on. So we're going to be talking to I think he's the international tourism person who knows everything about what's going on in Alabama. We can talk about a great many things that are getting ready to happen in our state, things that you all can participate in and you can enjoy. As you can see, I'm coming to you from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Well, maybe not so much so, but I feel like I'm in Gulf Shores, although the ocean's not moving. I tried to have the ocean moving. I could have fixed that, but there were some other people that told me no, it just wasn't good to be on the ocean tonight. So I decided I just wouldn't do it. But we're going to have a great program with you. We have several things we want to talk about before we get going on. One of which is that the Women's Unleashed Conference is going to be coming up in October. We're letting everybody know about it because we want you to go out and register for the Unleashed Conference, which is going to be a great conference. They've been planning it now for almost more than a year because COVID shut us down so that we couldn't actually do that. But as you can see, we got some very good guests that are going to be there. And you've got Pastor Karen Smith, and Pastor Adventa Gray, who's a keynote speaker that's going to be here with us, and Psalmist Monique Henry. And then, of course, our own and the most important woman that's going to be on the conference, Minister Pat Lowe. So we want you to go ahead and go out there and go to unleashconference.com and register for the women's conference. So letting you know about that. Also, I think if you want to advertise some things, they've got a place where you can advertise and be part of the conference. And your business ad will be seen by people across the globe, everyone that's looking at the conference. So you go out there too. If you're interested in purchasing an ad, contact Sister Kimberly West at KimWest1908 at Gmail. 1908. Let's see what happened. Anything good happened in 1908 that I can remember? Okay, and then I'm understanding my voice is distorted. Don't know why that's there. That means I might have to be quiet for a moment while I fix it. And let's just see if I can figure out what might be going on with my audio at this point. Not understood. But I'm going to move on from there since it's there. Thank you for letting me know if we got any comments that are out there. I'm looking to see what might be happening to my voice and why it's distorted. I'm not understood why. But let me just let you know. You remember, get in touch with Kim West 1908 at gmail.com. Kim West 1908 Gmail. Or Dr. Minister Deacon Jeffrida Brown at Jeffrida at ZariusFinance.com. But we'll put all that information out here for you in just a little while. The bookstore is now open 9 a.m. to 9:25 a.m. and after service. So you can go in there and get your little knickknacks and everything that's there. Remember that on Sundays. And for everybody who needs to know, we are open already full blast with mask. Full blast with mask. So you can wear your mask, come on in, and we're going to be on blast with your mask. So just do that and come right on in. And we are still safe distancing. We've got the seats set up. So and we've had no challenges with the way we've been doing service for more than a year now. No COVID spread in GLC. That's because every one of you all has been responsible in the way you've conducted yourself. So worship, there's no reason not to come and fellowship with us because we're doing everything we can. We're just thinking about where we're talking about Alabama tourism, like in Huntsville, we've got Rocket City there. We're on blast, but you're going to wear your mask, and so we're we're enjoying that too. So we're inviting you all to come. And bookstore, come in and take a look at that. And I want to remind you also, if you're on Facebook, we want you to share what's going on tonight. We want people to know what's going on in our state. And you're going to be able to ask some questions too. So if you have any questions that you're going to ask our guests tonight, then put those in the chat and we will go over those. We had a great time with him. I'm getting ready to bring him on in right now. We had a great time with him a few weeks ago. In fact, we had discussed several items and we didn't get enough time to discuss. It was such a good program. Didn't get enough time to talk about all the wonderful places that are nearby that you can go in the state of Alabama. And he's going to tell you some more things and tell you how you can actually enjoy what goes on in Alabama a lot more than what I think many of us clearly understood. So what I'm going to do right now is bring our guest in with us. He's Graham Roderick with Alabama Tourism. So I'm going to bring him in right now. And Graham, how are you doing this evening? And I want you to just share with the people about what you do. And we're going to give you a lot of more room this evening than what we did last time, because you got some excellent things to share with one. So, Graham, you got it for a minute. I'll try to find out if my voice is coming clear to people. Take it on.
Oh, you sound good on my end, Bishop, and thank you so much for having me again tonight. It's a pleasure being here. I guess I'll try to talk, kind of slow so I can take up a little more time. Probably touch on a few things that we spoke about the last time we were on here, but
I want to jump in there real quick. My wife and I went to see the Aretha Franklin movie this weekend. And, you talked about the Fame Studios and Muscle Shows. And
yes.
They had that in there. Have you seen the movie yet?
I haven't seen the movie yet. I think it premiered this weekend.
Yeah.
So, I had some family things to do up in Huntsville, but it's playing at the Capri Theater here tonight in Montgomery. And one of our editors in our office actually, I guess, used to write movie reviews for the Montgomery Advertiser. And so he's got a copy, and he said he would lend it to me. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the story of Aretha Franklin, she did really become, for those that don't know, she became the Queen of Soul after she recorded one song at Fame Studios. And I'm not going to try to give out any spoilers from the movie by talking about her life, because it is a biopic. It is the story of Aretha Franklin and how she became the Queen of Soul. And a large influence in that was the recording studio in Florence, Alabama. She was dropped from, I believe it was Atlantic, and then signed with Columbia and Jerry Wexler. He brought her down to Fame Studios where the house band they played some of the funkiest music. Al Bell from Stax Records in Memphis used to send artists down there all the time. Mm-hmm. And not to give any spoilers again, but she started becoming who we all know her as.
That's right. I mean, don't go back from it.
I could tell the whole. It's an incredible story to tell, and I could tell the whole story of how she, arrived in Muscle Shoals and was kind of shy and didn't really know what to expect, and none of the producers, none of the band members really knew who she was and what kind of sound. And one of the keyboardists hit one chord on this electric piano, and then from that one chord, they cut "I Never Loved a Man," and that was her first big hit. One of many.
It was a working piano, because I remember the sound. I didn't know that sound was created right here in Alabama. The Aretha Franklin, never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You. And that was just an awesome thing. But people know about Detroit, Motown,
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, with the Spinners and group up there and the Delphonics. But I don't think many people know that Aretha Franklin and who else was it? You said Tom Bell. You didn't say Tom Bell. Tom Bell's in Philadelphia.
No, I mean the artists that have recorded hit records in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, it's hundreds.
Yeah.
I mean, big names. You had Paul Simon, the Rolling Stones recorded there. Bob Dylan. Some of the more recent ones. Excuse me, Alicia Keys.
Really?
She recorded some of her singles and solo albums there. Demi Lovato recorded a couple of her songs from an album probably back in the early 2010s. But yeah, you like you said, Bishop. Most people think of Detroit. You got New York, L.A., Atlanta, Nashville. You don't really think of these tiny little towns in the northwest corner of Alabama producing some of the greatest hits. Etta James, she cut there. That's where she became a star. Cher recorded her first solo album after she split away from Sonny and Cher, I guess it was, and it's incredible. Dwayne Allman, before he became who we all know him as with the Allman Brothers, he played on Bob Seger records and Bob Skaggs.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. If you have a weekend, just a Saturday, it is kind of out of the way. It's in the northwest corner. It's in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and Sheffield, Alabama. There are two studios that if you're into music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you've been to Stax Records in Memphis or you've been to Motown up in Detroit, definitely check out Florence and the Shoals, Alabama. You won't be disappointed. It's pretty incredible.
Well, that's part of what the tour is about. I'm going to let you have it and do it the way you want to go. But when I saw it from when we talked last time, and you talked about Fame Studios, so when I saw it on the screen, I said, "Oh yeah, Graham told me about that." Of course, I knew it was there, but I
Right.
didn't. When I saw it, because we had talked about it, it felt a little more. Oh, I know that place. And that was because of what you shared with me. I knew about it all along as a musician, but when they went in the studio, there in with Florence, right? Muscle Shoals, right?
Muscle Shoals.
Muscle Shoals. They went in there. I could see they actually used that. They used a picture of the old theater. I mean, the old studio there. But anyway, Glenn, I talked.
Oh yeah.
I'm,
Oh no, you're good, Bishop.
I'm talking about it, but that's. I just want the people to know that we have such a place like that, and there were just a bunch. I'm gonna put it this way: Motown. We knew we had a lot of black musicians up there. New York, you had the Strings, you had all of that, and a lot of just white musicians. And Muscle Shoals, which is basically white musicians. But sometimes, folk, when they listen to Aretha Franklin, you think you're listening to some brothers playing those instruments, but they were actually white guys that were playing behind her. So
it's really funny.
That soul,
It's you're almost quoting one of the lines from. So there's a documentary. If you don't have the chance, or you don't have the opportunity to go there, I highly recommend checking out. It's a documentary on. It's called Muscle Shoals, and I mean it's got Steve Winwood, Percy Sledge. I mean Percy Sledge cut on. Just had a brain fart. I was thinking of
when a man loves a woman.
Yeah, When a Man Loves a Woman. Percy Sledge cut that there. Jimmy Cliff, Arthur Alexander. I mean, it was funny. There's a scene in the movie where Paul Simon calls Al Bell at Stax Records. And he calls up and he's like, "Hey, man, I want those same black players that were playing on I'll Take You There by the Stable Singers." And Al Bell was like, "Yeah, man, that can happen, but these guys are mighty pale." And just like you said, it's just couple. I mean, they grew up playing in church, and that's where a lot of them got their influence. You know, listening to blues, because I mean, it's right on the corner of Mississippi, and you know, they grew up listening to blues music. And I mean, Elvis Presley's from in that area in Tupelo. Who was it? The producer that discovered Elvis Presley? Sam Phillips. He's from Florence area and the Muscle Shoals area. So some of the greatest musicians, artists, influencers come from Alabama. So we're very proud of that history.
All right. Well, I'm showing something there that we showed before, but let me let you go ahead and have it, so you can begin to do what you like to do there, and I'll just say a little bit more, because I'm formerly a musician. I tried to use music to stay out of the ministry, but God's just not fair. He has his mind made up, and he's got to always have it his way, you know, and so there's nothing else you can do. But I probably never made a trip, never recorded anything up there, but those Pale musicians did a great job. They did a lot for.
Well, they definitely, the drummer, guitarist, bass player, they were Pale, but the horn section was definitely African American. And
we took that movie too. They brought them in there, but that was good. Good. And I see someone asked the question. She said, "Are you really saying the Rolling Stones did it?"
Yeah. So that's another interesting story. They technically weren't allowed to record in the U.S. because they didn't acquire the proper business visa. So they were flown in privately into the tiny. I mean, and we're talking in the early '70s. So it's, you know, very small. And we're talking prop planes. And yeah, they cut Wild Horses, Brown Sugar, and one other song, I think from was that the Sticky Fingers album, I believe it was, but you won't see the recording studio credited because they technically weren't supposed to be there. I've actually seen the receipt that the studio charged the Rolling Stones, and it cost the Rolling Stones like $600-700 to record Wild Horses or Brown Sugar. And I mean, that album went platinum, I'm pretty sure.
But
they made a great return on that investment. And again, in that documentary I mentioned earlier, Keith Richards' quote is, you know, calling Muscle Shoals rock and roll heaven. So we put that in nice quotes on a lot of different things that we use to promote music in the state of Alabama.
All right.
You're in rock and roll heaven, man.
All right. I'm going back out. I'm going to let you just have talk about all the other things. I just had to get on that because my wife and I had gone to see that movie, and I thought it was a fairly good movie. I mean, I love listening to the music because that was of my day. And
I'll never forget on road trips with my mom belting out RESPECT.
Yeah.
I mean, it's iconic. Everybody knows that song.
And she recorded.
Go anywhere in the world, you know that song.
Oh, yes, they do. But see, she recorded a song called "Ain't No Way." I remember, I think I was in high school at the time, and I just loved the way those horns played on that thing. I didn't know that her sister had written it, and the way they just sang, the way they did it, I think the movie was well done. But again, I'm taking it away from what you might have wanted to share. Other folk might not. Well, if you went to Muscle Shoals right now, what would they see if they went there to visit?
So I'll admit the studios, they're small, but they do give guided tours or escorted tours, and you're gonna see the very humble beginnings of some of the greatest hits to ever hit the radio waves. Both studios are very small. Fame Studios. This one right here, that's Fame Studios. So that's where Aretha Franklin would have recorded in that building right there. And it's very, you know, it looks the part. Looks definitely old school.
See, that's the word.
You're gonna go in there. that's the piano. That one in the foreground right there is the one that has the very unique sound that I've Never Loved a Man.
I used to have one like that. I did. I bought one. I mean, I had one that was in high school. I had it was real heavy. I couldn't carry it around a whole lot, but it had that beautiful sound. And actually, Ray Charles, dun, 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 I think he played on one of those too. But that's the studio there, huh? Is that what
That's
that is?
it. And like I said, you're going to get a tour. You're going to get a far more in-depth history of the music and artists that have stepped through those doors and played in that room. I mean, you're literally standing in the room that Aretha Franklin was standing in that day. You're standing in the room that Percy Sledge belted out, his #1 hit. I mean, it's like going to anywhere that's got a lot of history, and especially if you're big into music, it's definitely worth the visit. One of the sound engineers there, his name is Spencer. He looks like he fell out of a Led Zeppelin album. He gives a really great tour, and he's worked on a bunch of newer albums and newer hits, and he will tell you that his main goal in life is to cut a hit record, because you're in the hit recording capital of the world. I mean, some of the greatest hits. It's interesting. Everybody who came to Muscle Shoals and Sheffield, besides Cher, came out with a hit record.
Besides Cher.
Yeah, her first solo album. It's actually, her first solo album was cut in Muscle Shoals Sound Studio, which is the other studio in that area.
It looks somebody.
Let's see, Willie Frank Hightower history. I do not. But again, that's why you got to go there. You got to get the actual tour from the tour guides there. I guess you would say the bullet points, the cliff notes, whereas you got to go to the actual place for the whole true experience.
Well, all right. I'm looking at that room. When I was younger, I went a lot of different places and studios, and I remember a studio I did have to come down steps to get into the room, but I don't think I've ever been to Muscle Shoals. But when I was younger, I was going a lot of places, do a lot of different things. But anyway, what I said, let's get back off the music. All right, some people are not in music. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you just have the floor and go whichever way you want to go and share whatever you like to share with the people. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Bishop. Everybody, my name is Graham Roderick. I'm the International Sales Manager for the Alabama Tourism Department. Thank you all for letting me talk to you all for a little bit about Alabama and all there is to do and experience here. For those, just kind of a quick rundown of what our department does. We're the Alabama Tourism Department. Our main job, and I like to just put it in layman's terms, make it easy. My job is to convince people from outside of the state of Alabama to come spend their money and spend the night in the state of Alabama. We are funded by a 4%, well, excuse me, let me retract. There is a 4% lodgings tax on all rooms in the state of Alabama, and we get 1% of that 4%. And we actually do very well. Our beach is our biggest draw, obviously, and which allowed us to not have as bad a year as some other major destinations because of COVID. So, for those looking for events, I remember someone talking and they want to know more about events and stuff coming up. So I'm going to start with a really great resource, and that is our website. And so I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. So this is our website, alabama.travel. Sweet Home Alabama. Go right to the events page. Again, a great resource. I mean, we can select dates starting today and go all the way to the end of the year. Hit apply. And you'll see a bunch of different events broken down by month. Looks like Jazz and Blues Festival up in Huntsville. Was that the second weekend in September? Hank Williams birthday crawl right here in my hometown. I'm here in Montgomery, Alabama. The Barber Vintage Motorsports Festival. For any motorcycle heads out there, anybody, that is a really cool festival. And I believe it's a Thursday through Sunday event. Oh, Friday through Sunday event. And they have around 250,000 show up, and it's got everything from brand new crotch rockets to old school Harleys and Indian motorcycles. And it's held at the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. Obviously most of y'all, I guess, I would assume, are from the Birmingham area, so y'all might be familiar. But if you haven't, it's a really incredible museum. See if I can find a picture of it here. Museum is 4 stories tall. It's 220,000 square feet. And in any given time, it has close to 1,000 motorcycles on display. They like to dub themselves as a living art museum because every one of the bikes that you see in the museum, except for a few from like the early 1900s, can actually be gassed up and driven on the track that's actually on site too. And so Barber Vintage Motorsports Festival in October every year. Really excited that it is back on because it was canceled last year due to COVID. And so you can search events or you can search things by experience. We talked about music. Outdoors is another thing that Alabama benefited from. Because of COVID, our state parks were the most visited out of any of our attractions, mostly because our attractions were closed. And so we have, I believe there are 24 state parks, 23, but there's one on every corner of the state of Alabama. I know in Birmingham you have Oak Mountain State Park, which is the largest state park, and has its own golf course and zip lining, hiking, biking, all of that. And I believe they also, if you wanted to, you could do weddings out there. Because I think it might have been Dolores, but someone was asking about weddings.
You know, what I'd like to ask you for a moment, I'll bring it back up here. What about Ruffner Mountain? Can you share with us about anything?
Yeah. So let's search and see what Alabama.travel says about Ruffner Mountain.
Okay.
Because that is. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. And so you go to Alabama.travel and you can put it in there. Okay.
There it is.
All right, let's get it up there so we can look at that a little bit more. And
I don't know much about Ruffner Mountain Nature Preserve.
Well,
so it gives you a little tidbit of information right there, and you can click the button and it'll open up into a new window, which is nice. I don't have to go back. Look at that.
It's nice.
It does look nice.
And that's right here in Irondale, actually, where I live and where the church is. The church is around the corner from Ruffner Mountain.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of, Pastor, we talk about it all the time whenever I go to some of these trade shows and I'm sitting there trying to convince people to come spend the night and spend their money in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice because I don't know if a lot of even Alabamians realize how diverse and how much there is to experience and how much Alabama really has to offer. We are actually at the base of the Appalachian Mountains.
Yes.
You can hike from Fort Payne in Anniston, Alabama, all the way up the Appalachian Trail into upper New York State. And we've got.
Would it go to Maine?
Sorry?
Does it go to Maine also? I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And here is a picture that's of Roughing the Mountain. I had one of my members sent me a picture, and I looked at this, and this is an example that's out there. And you can see the city of Birmingham back out in the foreground way over there. So
that's a beautiful shot.
That is a good one right there. And there were several things from Roughing the Mountain, and that's right in the Birmingham area. And there are various walking paths that people can go to. Let me see. I think I saw several others that were there too, and I just wanted them to be aware of Roughing the Mountain. Okay, here's one of the walking trails. Let me see if I can bring that up so that they can see that here. It's one of the walking trails that is right now. Yeah, that's just
very nice.
Yeah, just because I do have a family that goes out there from time to time, and they send me these beautiful shots of things that they would do while they were at the mountain. And it's just, one evening of, they say, at Birmingham from the mountain is here. And then you see Birmingham back in the area. They took a shot of that. And so that's just one of the parks. You say a park, and that's right around the corner. So folk can see that.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not far from, it's right there in the heart of Birmingham. Right up 59 towards Chattanooga.
Well, folk need to know that it's there. And here, man, I'm just looking at some of these beautiful shots that are there that are showing this. I just can't help get over it. And see, if you look to the left, there's City of Birmingham, and you got that sunset. That's it up on the mountain. Roughing the Mountain State Park, I think is what it's called. All right, I'm out.
No, you're good, Pastor.
Okay.
But yeah, as the bishop pointed out, Alabama's got tons of biodiversity, tons of natural wonders and adventures that you'll find anywhere else on the eastern part of the United States, and even out west. I will say I went out west and saw some Rocky Mountains, which obviously you won't get here, but they also don't have our beautiful beaches. So it's, can't have everything. But Alabama does have tons to offer. Alabama's actually second only to Alaska as far as navigable waterways. I learned that when I was at a trade show in Canada. And yeah, if you're looking to get away or get outside, just go a quick Google search, alapark.com. That's ALAPARK.com. That is the website for state parks in Alabama, and tell you all you need to know about going and checking out some of our incredible nature. But I think I saw someone post in the comments Huntsville. So I'm going to unshare this real quick. I'm a Huntsville native, and so U.S. Space and Rocket Center there. Huntsville is known as the Rocket City.
Out for the number one city state now. So
well, Birmingham Metro is still the biggest city in the state. And like if you include Trussville, Hoover, Spain or Vestavia Hills in those areas, Birmingham is still bigger than Huntsville. But if Huntsville does continue on its current trajectory, it will. I mean, they've got the FBI's bringing something like 3,000, 4,000 jobs with an estimated payroll of like $89 million or 800, and like it's incredible. But yeah, Huntsville's definitely on the up and up. They are continuing to build and dig holes in the ground and build attraction after attraction. I don't know if anybody got to see, but the latest, let's see if I can find it, is the state-of-the-art amphitheater that will be in their mid-city. So we'll go to Huntsville, things to do. And this is huntsville.org. And this is the Visit Huntsville website. So if you're traveling up north into the 256 area code, check it out. They have an attractions pass where you can get discounted tickets to some of their attractions. But Mid-City Huntsville, the outdoor public amphitheater. It'll load.
Did we keep the Space Force Center there? Do we hold on to
that? We did hold on to that. They will be headquartering Space Force if they. Now I don't know about that. If they're actually that's gonna be a legitimate thing. I know they have a logo and they have a whole department and everything. It just seems, I don't know. Even for myself as a millennial, having a Space Force. I'm glad it's in Huntsville though. That's pretty cool. I can't wait for the tours of that facility.
Wait until Mars attacks. The first place it's going to go is going to be Huntsville. You see that?
I know, right? See, that's exactly, you hit the nail on the head right there, Bishop. It's no longer going to be Manhattan, New York. It's going to be Huntsville, Alabama.
Right.
Going to be the one getting blown away in Mars attacks and.
That's right.
What was that? Independence Day 3.
Oh yeah, that's where it'll be. Don't run with your friends. All right.
But there's a nice artist rendition of what the amphitheater could look like. It's exciting, and with it being so close to the Shoals area and the music history there, that especially for my job, trying to convince people to come spend the night in Alabama, stuff like this makes it easier for sure. But Huntsville is known as the Rocket City, and that is actually where the space program and NASA began. Is actually Dr. Warner von Braun, who, as much as it pains me to say, developed rockets for the Germans in World War II. He was hired by the U.S. Army to essentially beat Russia to space and to the moon. And he did it. He pulled it off. And it was funny because they took him to Florida, Cape Canaveral, and he didn't like Florida. He said it was too hot. And then they took him out to Texas, and he said it was too flat. And then they took him to this old, the Redstone Arsenal. It's actually just almost an ammunitions depot. They just kept a bunch of ammunition and supplies here, and he had everything he needed, and it reminded him of being back home in Germany because Germany is very, very hilly, even on the western border of France going into Eastern Europe. So it's very, very much like Huntsville. And so they developed the Saturn V rocket, which is the largest rocket man has ever built, and propelled man to the moon. That museum, again, being born and raised in Huntsville, I go to that museum at least probably once a year when I go see my mom and my dad for Thanksgiving and Christmas and other things. I'll definitely make a point to stop by. It is the only place in the world that you can actually walk under the entire Saturn V rocket, and it's pretty incredible. Right. Definitely don't sleep on it. And let's see. Also in Huntsville, you got the Huntsville Botanical Garden, which is also would make an incredible wedding venue for those looking for a wedding venue. Let me stop sharing that for a second. Highest PhDs per capita. That is correct. Got more engineers and doctors per capita up in Huntsville. And let's, Birmingham. Y'all seem to know most about Birmingham. Look at that. That's nice. I won't ever get a load. I do want to go check out because I saw that Vulcan Park cleared out some of those trees and they put out, tables and stuff there so you can like kind of go have a picnic and watch the sunset over the city. That looked nice. Birmingham Zoo, always, one of the best in the state, if not the best. And then Buc-ee's, believe it or not. I never thought I would ever talk about a convenience store as a tourist attraction, but I was wrong.
Is that where you're talking about, Buc-ee's?
It is right next to the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum.
Right. Well, tell me about Buc-ee's. I'd like to know about that because I've heard about it. So they tell me it's
Bishop, you probably know just as much as I do. It's, as far as I know, it's a gas station, but it's like a gas station on steroids. Gas station.
Okay, has anybody else been out there to Buc-ee's?
Let's see.
Tell us about it. Is it just put it in the comments out there? We'd like to know.
Yeah. So I see Texas. Huge. Let's see.
Dorothy said, I know, right? A gas station with everything. Okay. So.
Here we go. Let me share my screen. I found some photos. Dang, it looks like a giant Walmart.
Big Walmart, huh?
A big Walmart gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Damn.
Okay. That's it there. Yes. I've never been. Let's see if anybody else knows. Let's see. She says it's known for the cleanest bathroom.
Oh.
And
cleanest bathroom.
The best brisket around. Of course, I'd like to try that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, that really does right now. Okay.
So yeah, Buc-ee's in Birmingham. I know that's definitely on my list of things to go see and check out in Birmingham. What else in Birmingham? Our office will be doing a video shoot with Travels with Darley. She is an Emmy award-winning. She's not an actress, but she's a producer and journalist. And we'll be in the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, 16th Street Baptist Church, Kelly Ingram Park, Jazz Hall of Fame, the 4th Avenue Business District, the Eddie Kendricks Memorial, Avondale, I guess the Avondale Entertainment District, I guess is what it's called. So we'll be doing some things there. And then we're going to be going down to Selma. We're going to get shots across the bridge. If you haven't gotten your selfie on the Edmund Pettus Bridge yet, highly recommend doing that. And then walking across the bridge and going checking out the National Voting Rights Museum. So you can actually go home and tell all your friends that you walked across the bridge in Selma. And then in Montgomery, we're excited for a $40 million whitewater adventure park that will be opening in 2024, I believe. So you'll have to have me back on to discuss that. It is a $40 million water park that the city of Montgomery is investing in. Wow. But it's not your typical water park, because usually when I think of water parks, I think of the straight downhill slides and things like that. But this is like a kind of adventure whitewater park. Let's see if I can share this with you. $50 million, excuse me.
Okay.
So this is a nice artist rendition of what it could look like, but as you can see in there, you've got kayaks and canoes. It'll be an outdoor shopping area, and it's supposed to obviously increase the quality of life here, but it's supposed to be a pretty big draw, and we're very excited for it. So that's kind of what's happening in Montgomery. For those that haven't been to the EJI Museum in Montgomery yet, better known as the Lynching Memorial, it can be tough, but it's definitely worth the visit. The Legacy Museum itself is incredible. They have state-of-the-art interactive exhibits, and if you're like me, when I go to a museum, I like to read every word on every single plaque while I'm there. It's a plethora of information going back to all the way back to the slave trade from Western Africa to the Caribbean, all the way up until mass incarceration. And yes, Aretha Price, you're absolutely right. It's an incredibly well done museum, but it's humbling. But yeah, so they're going to be EJI is actually expanding the Legacy Museum because they've run out of space. They don't have enough space in their current building to house all of the new and upcoming exhibits. So we're looking forward to their new space that they're going to be building adjacent to their It's the Legacy Pavilion, which is actually home to Panny George's Kitchen. And for those that have never been to a Panny George's, you're missing out because it's some damn good meat and three. And then moving on south, down to Mobile, the new and exciting thing that we're talking about right now is the Clotilda, which was the last slave ship to America. Nothing right now. They're supposed to be building the Heritage House, which will be their museum and welcome center. But the opening date has been pushed back to February, March. Oh, and then Lyrissa, we'll get to the safari park. We had a staff meeting today, and we talked about that today.
Graham,
Yes, sir.
before you go to away from the field, I want to let all the members of Guiding Light know that we have, let me see, this would be, I think, a great granddaughter of one of the slaves that came over on the Clotilda. That's also a member of our media department. I don't think some of our media team knew that. And that's Sister Renette Mahaffey. I think she is a great granddaughter of that a slave that came over on that ship, the Clotilda.
Wow.
And she is a member of our congregation. Her father remembers, I think, his grandmother. Yeah, and she would share with what she experienced. So we do have some of the history right there in Guiding Light for people to be aware of that. I don't know if she's listening right now, nor do I know that she might appreciate me letting y'all know that.
I was gonna say we might have to get her on camera, get a microphone in front of her, start telling so we can record that story. That is something that we tried to do. Some of the foot soldiers that were there during the turbulent times of the 50s and 60s.
I think her father, Graham, actually did something for what is the National Geographic in discussing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, good.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's recorded somewhere, because that's one thing that I know our state tourism director, Lisa Intel, wanted to do was get these foot soldiers and these people with these stories on tape and on camera. Because I was talking to one of our tour guides in Montgomery, and she's African American, and she's concerned that not just African Americans, but that the history in those stories are not being passed on to the next generation, and the next generation isn't appreciating what the previous generations went through so that they can, do the things that they do.
All right, let's go right back. You were about to talk about the safari park.
Yes, the safari park. So we actually had a staff meeting today, and we were talking about the safari park. I hear it's pretty incredible. It's expensive. I think we couldn't decide whether it was 20 or $35, but a quick Google search, and I'm sure you could find it. But that's not 20 to $35 per car. That's per person. So, but it is pretty cool. Not many places. I know of only other one up in near Huntsville. I would assume Birmingham maybe has one. But if you've got kids and they like animals and they're not allergic to pets or anything like that, then it's definitely, it's definitely worth it. One of our workers says she goes several times every year, each year. But I would call ahead because there have been times where people go down there and the line to get in is 5 miles out the door. So just be prepared for that.
Tell us something about it. What are they?
So you drive your car. Let's see if we can find it here. You drive your car through this. See how big it is. I don't know how many acres. And you're live feeding animals. Now, I will say this: they are aggressive. The animals. Now, I don't know if anybody in here has ever, lived on a farm or had farm animals before. I personally haven't. Oh, look, Pastor, you got it.
Yeah.
I was petting a donkey at a friend's farm, and I thought I was gonna bite my thumb off. My hand got too close to his mouth. But as you can see from the photos, you get up close and personal to all kinds of different animals. I think I see some camel, a zebra, longhorn, a buffalo. I'm sure they got some llamas, horses, alpacas, you name it. And that is in Hope Hole, which is south of Montgomery.
Ooh. But for you to say some are aggressive, you've been there before, I take it, huh?
Oh, I've never been there. I've been to the Harmony Safari Park up near Huntsville, and it's just like this one. You drive around. It says here it's 350 acres. And yeah, you just drive around and get to feed exotic animals from the comfort of your own car.
Okay.
And let's see, I'm looking at ticket hours. They are open all year round except for Thanksgiving and Christmas. They are open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the last admission is at 3 p.m. Oh, that's for January, February. Let's see. Right now, last admission is at 4 p.m. and they're open till 5. It's more daylight. And the price is $21.95 per person, age 13 to 64. Seniors, you get $1 off. Children get $5 off. And if you've got infants, it's free.
Of course.
Yeah, I might have to go check that out.
Okay. All right. Tell us some more.
Yeah. And again, because I handle a lot of the international stuff, we talk about things that not necessarily an international person would, fly over an ocean to come and do. They might do a safari park if they were in Montgomery for a little while and then we're looking for something to do. But right now, our main focus is civil rights. We have been preparing a UNESCO World Heritage nomination for Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church, 16th Street Baptist Church, and the Edmund Pettus Bridge. So we're looking to get UNESCO World Heritage status. And for those that don't know, I knew nothing about UNESCO until I was probably about 6-7 months into tourism. Our director, Lisa Intel, explained to me that UNESCO it's a big deal. Stonehenge in the UK is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I mean, parts of the rainforest. The sites on UNESCO have to have significant historical and cultural impact. So much so that it like affects generations of people. And what happened here in Alabama and the South during the 50s and 60s definitely impacted culture and the way the future was shaped. And so we're getting prepared to push that nomination through. And luckily, we have Vice President Kamala Harris, who we are going to hopefully lean on and lead us to the promised land and get us UNESCO World Heritage status, because there is a market of people, a very niche market, but it is they go and visit UNESCO World Heritage sites, and they go and visit new ones, and most of them are usually very affluent. And so we're excited about that. And then, of course, the beach. I can't talk about tourism without talking about the beach. It is our bread and butter. It is our, saving grace. It kept us from having, a terrible, awful 2020 to just having a bad 2020. So yeah, the beaches. I mean, anything from charter fishing right off the coast, red snapper, grouper. You've got a pretty incredible zoo down at the beach. The last time I was there, they had like a white tiger and a white Bengal tiger. They have some very unique exotic animals that you just wouldn't expect for a small beach town on the coast of Alabama.
Wait,
Yes, sir.
if somebody wanted to go to the beach, what's the best ways? And I don't know if you can answer this. How should they go about getting lodging and everything? Would you have things on your website?
Yeah, we don't have ads, or we don't sell tickets or anything like that. Our department, we're essentially just promoters. Like, I actually don't exchange any good or service. I will say this, we are coming out with an attraction ticket. You pay one price. Now, I will say it's more tailored for the international market, because the way it works, most people want to just have one confirmation number rather than a confirmation number for your flight, for your hotel, for your train ticket, for your attraction, for your museum pass. It can be cumbersome to keep up with all those different things. And so some of these companies, they've gotten smart, and they'll package all of those things together, and they'll be able to package it because they'll get it at a wholesale rate from the hotel or the airlines or the museum, and they'll mark it up 10-20% and then sell it to us, the end consumer, where there's pretty much just selling us convenience. You pay one price, one time, and you have one confirmation number you got to keep up with, and that's your flight, hotel, train ticket, museum pass, tickets, whatever you need.
But that's not to the Alabama citizen just yet, is it?
Sorry?
Is that available to the Alabama citizen?
No. So that is available. That is available through tour operators. That's like Expedia.com. They're wholesalers like that. Part of my job with tourism is I meet with companies like Expedia and TripAdvisor and hotel beds and Hilton Worldwide, Marriott International, these companies. And I try to we try to get Alabama tourism products. So, like, for example, Expedia. You can search flights, hotels, and attractions passes. Well, we're not so much focused on the hotels. We let the cities handle the hotels. We're more focused on trying to get our attractions and tour guides more than anything. Experience givers is what we call them. Experience giver.
If that's not something that you all do a lot, we can look at Expedia, TripAdvisor, and all to go to the beach and go to some place.
And I will give you one, if you're searching for things like that, search on Expedia in those places. So, like, if you're searching for a hotel, for example, like Hilton or Marriott, and you know where you want to go, search on it on Expedia to get an idea of what the price is, and then go directly to the website to see if you can get it cheaper. That's the best way to get the best price. And also, before you do any kind of search or before you book, always clear your cache and your cookies in your browser.
Come on.
Because as soon as, like, I'm sure even us talking about things like this, everybody's probably going to get promotions for hotels and Alabama beaches now. But they're keeping track of that. And if they have this little cookie on your website that says you searched, beaches and vacation homes in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, well, Expedia's algorithm, the way it works is they're going to raise the price on that listing because they know you want it. It's pretty incredible.
You said where the cookies, so that's what we go.
So that would be, you would go. So I use Firefox as my preferred browser, and it's a little sandwich icon on the far right. Here, I can just show my screen. How about that?
Well, as long as they know to clear cookies, because I know when you go check airline flights, they'll be low in the beginning, and then after you keep checking, you'll find that they're not available at that low price anymore. So your computer is actually telling on you, so people need to know to clear those cookies. And that's important point to save money. I think.
Absolutely. I actually didn't learn that till actually fairly recently. So if you're looking at my screen, it's this little they call this the sandwich icon, is this little 3 bars right here. You go to history, clear recent history. See that little tick right there? Make sure that is ticked, and make sure those cookies are ticked. I'm going to keep my active logons, and then boom.
And so now we're getting different ads for going down the Gulf Shores. And my prices on my airline tickets will continue to keep going up because they don't know that I'm interested in it. Y'all need to know that. Keep that in mind now. That's a good tidbit right there. Save you a lot of money. Right. Well, let me ask you now, Graham, before we go any further, is there any other major thing you'd like to share with them before we conclude tonight? If they've got anything out there they'd like to, put it in the chat right now, y'all. So I'm gonna get ready to close them down. So if there's anything else you all want to hear, anything?
I know it was either Dolores or Lear wanted me to kind of touch on wedding venues. I know I kind of mentioned it sporadically throughout, but nothing real concrete. As a tourism department, we're not really into promoting like wedding venue sites. But if I had to choose one bad, I mean, this place is jamming. It's Purcell Farms. Now, I'm sure, I can't imagine what a wedding costs there. It's probably not even listed on their website. That's how much it costs. It's like one of those restaurants where they don't even list the price because you don't want to know. But it's got a golf course, shooting range, spa. I mean, you would have thought that this place is in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, and it is like super nice.
Look at that. Yeah. But that's too much for a wedding. Look
I
at
mean,
me.
yeah.
Oh, you can't see
And
that from
my
there.
other, my other suggestion for wedding is just, just go to quick Google and, wedding venues near me.
Hmm.
But yeah, Purcell Farms is banging. It's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
there's one right there. Okay. Okay. It looks like.
But that's all I really have. I mean, y'all, I think I will put my contact information in the private chat, and I'll let Bishop Lowe share with everybody. But yeah, if you have any questions about anything in Alabama, upcoming events, and you can't find it on our website or anything like that, uh, please reach out to me. My information is public. I'm a public employee. I'll be happy to point you in the right direction. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me again. I love coming on here. This is great.
Well, we've enjoyed having you involved with us. It's good for us. And, I mean, I'm learning things as you do it, especially as we talked about the music
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah. We also got to follow up, Bishop, and talk about the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, we will have to do that because that's going to be coming online. We're looking at probably second quarter of next year, being available
Okay.
for the World Games that's coming to Birmingham also.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I cannot believe I went a whole hour and didn't even mention World Games next year.
About it because a lot of folks may not know about what the World Games are, and it's very important that they have some information about that. So why don't you just
Yes.
say a few words about it?
Yeah, so World Games, and I'll pull it up because definitely Birmingham is very excited about this. The World Games are very similar to the Olympics. They're just very different events. For example, one of the events they have is tug of war, um, is an event. Like drone racing is another one.
Drone
Drone racing, I mean, it's wild.
will be
They
interesting.
are. I mean, they have traditional games. Let me see. I got it pulled up, so let me share my screen with you guys one last time.
I've got it. If you need me to.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You're bringing it up right now.
Let me get over here. All right. So the World Games 2022, Birmingham, Alabama. Tickets are on sale now. You can buy them by the event, buy them by the sport, or anything like that. They've got all the different venues. Look at that. It's going to be all over the place. And we're really excited because this is allowing Birmingham to create some more tourism infrastructure. They're making additions, I think, to like Railroad Park and other places. And it'll actually be one of the first few worldwide events where, fingers crossed, that people actually get to attend.
Worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking very, what do they got? They got athletes from all different countries. Look at that tug of war, incredible. Oh well, that didn't really give us anything, but I looked at the total medal count, and I don't think the U.S. is winning, so we'll have to make up for some of that when the World Games comes. But yeah, the state tourism office, we're helping Birmingham sponsor that event. Definitely give it a quick Google search, just World Games, Birmingham, Alabama, 2022. You'll see the website that I just pulled up. Go buy your tickets. It's very exciting. Athletes from around the world will be descending on Birmingham, Alabama. So just for all of those that live within the Birmingham metro area, July 7th through the 17th, should be prepared for tons of traffic.
I didn't know. I've heard about it. Of course, with the Jazz Hall of Fame, we've been planning to do some things for it, but I want to at least get somebody, an expert such as yourself, to share with us about it. Okay, so
Thank
let's
you.
just see if anyone we did ask for if they had any other comments, and it doesn't look like I see any others that are over there. We put the last ones in there. Um,
Thank you.
so listen, Graham, we really appreciate it, and we'll have to get you back if you're willing. You
Yeah.
know, probably it's other time to talk about these events because I think a lot of people, it really opens the door for
Mhm.
many of things that I know folk don't know a lot about, and especially me too. But you're sharing things that are things that a few folk know about, then a lot of other folk don't know anything about. So
Right.
you're good. You're a hidden gem here for us to be able to get this information from you. So we really appreciate that.
Oh, well,
And
thank you so much, Bishop, and happy to do it. And I'll tell the audience, I'll come a little more structured this time. I had to go, my art director and I had to go shoot a short video this morning at the brand new Lynette Welcome Center that's opening up. That's the Welcome Center right off Interstate 85 going to Atlanta. But yeah, Bishop, always a pleasure being here. Guiding Light Church, you guys rock. And I'm happy to do it anytime. And yeah, follow up with me about the Jazz Hall of Fame because that's music history in Alabama. The more we can get, the more we can show off. Makes my job easier.
well, again, thank you for being with us. And this is not if not the last time, because I find it very informative, and I'll be telling other people they can go back out there and check it out and see some of the things that you've talked about. Because it's last time was good too. In fact, I redid it and I added a lot more that you discussed. So it's very interesting to me. So thank you so much, Graham.
Hey,
And
thank you guys.
we'll be seeing you soon. Okay. God bless.
God bless. Thank you.
And to everybody else out there, as I get ready to bring it to conclusion right now, you've got Graham's number right at the bottom there. Is where you get in touch with him if you want to get more information on things. And of course, if you want to go to the website, you can go out to his website out there, which is alabama.travel, and get information that's there. And of course, his email. And that's very nice of him to do that. Give you his direct email if you want to ask him specifically about some other things. So, as we get ready to conclude, I'm checking to make sure for some of you all. Thank you. I see you got some good information here. We want you to have it. I want to end up by also letting you know that keeping it in mind that tomorrow, guys, tomorrow for those that are in the city of Birmingham, is an election day. We heard how Birmingham, the city, used to be. Now, metro area was the largest, we understand, but we've lost citizenship in Birmingham. We need to kind of consider why we have lost citizens, what's going on. We need to take a real good check on what's been done the last few years in this city. And I'm not talking about the last 3, 4 years. I'm talking about the last maybe 10, 15, 20 years. And we've been seeing things happen. You are responsible for what goes on in our city. You're the ones that decide who's going to be mayor. And it just should not be that a city that was the largest city shouldn't be losing population like that. And we shouldn't be having some of the things we got going on. Need you to remember to go out tomorrow and vote. And I have a banner here to show you go out. And the words I came up with was vote responsibly and to know your candidates. And the gatekeepers, the organization I'm also associated with, go out to gatekeepers on YouTube. And if you go on gatekeepers on YouTube, you'll be able to see who you're talking about voting for. There are 6 candidates out there that that you can get information on. You can get information on them that tells you exactly what they're talking about. Let's see if I can provide this for you for a brief moment so you can see that. But we want you to go and make a decision Give me a moment. The Gatekeepers Association, and on YouTube, if you go there, you can pull it up, and let's see. Let's pull this up so I can get it for you. Um, I need to just go to YouTube. Stand by. I'll show you on my screen here how to pull it up and go for YouTube. And when you get in YouTube, hold on, neighborhood. Stop. There we go. Here's where we are here. You can go to the Gatekeepers Association. You'll be able to look at each one of the candidates that are there. We have them all listed for you. That's one on William Bell there, who's also, running. Let me see if I can get this whole thing up here. I put in GATEKEEPERS Association of ASOCIAPION. And we want to search YouTube for it. So there we go. And there's a Gatekeepers Association. You go to the Gatekeepers Association, and when you get there, right on that first page, you've got the candidates you can. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't shown you that as of yet. Wait a minute. Let's take this off here. Yes, I'm on Gatekeepers right now, the Gatekeepers Association here. That's the page. And you go out there, and I tremendously encourage you, if you're going to be voting, if you're from the city of Birmingham, you have former Mayor William Bell that you can actually see where he speaks for almost 40 minutes or more, talking about what his plan is. And then you have Philemon Hill, who's another candidate that's running. You got a chance to hear him speak for another 40, 50 minutes. Commissioner LaShondra Scales, you can get a chance to hear what she's talking about. Another brother, Darrell Williams, that's running. You need to know these people. And then, of course, there's the current mayor, Randall Woofin. Go listen to them, please. Listen to them. Know who you're voting for. Do not vote blindly. And then there's Brother Chris Woods. We know, many of us know him as formerly a member of Guiding Light Church. But there's 6 of them there. Go vote responsibly. Know who you're voting for. Do not vote just because somebody else told you. Vote and use wisdom. And you've got an opportunity before you go tomorrow. Be reasonable, be responsible. Because if we don't get the right type mayor in there, if we don't get someone that is going to look out for what's right for the citizens of Birmingham, then it's tragic. I will tell you that, and I will tell you one clip in Brother Chris Woods when he talked about it. I'm not endorsing him by any means. I don't endorse any candidate, but and y'all need to know that about me. I'm going to let you know information about him. But Brother Chris Woods was asked the question because you remember he said it was pay for play, talking about corruption in the city. I asked him directly, and you can hear him on tape. Has it changed? Do we still have corruption? And one of the statements he made, he hadn't seen much different than what it was a few years ago. You need to go listen. Do not vote blindly. Vote responsibly of who you have listened to and believe is going to make our city a better city. Don't just vote because somebody told you to vote for this person or that person. Know who you're voting for. The future of our city is at stake. And let me also tell you, I want to let you know too, because you're voting tomorrow for mayor, the city council. Gatekeepers didn't get the city councils this time because of time and COVID, but you're going to also be voting for the school board. And school boards are very important. Do not ignore them. Just do the research that you can, find out, because you don't need dummies on the school board. Because if you got dummies on the school board, then they're going to they're going to make dummies out of our kids. You need somebody who's got some sense. I can remember a few years ago, we had crazy people running for the school board, and I wasn't paying any attention to the school board, and I know a lot of other folks might not have been. So we've had some real problems. You know what happened a few years ago when the state took it over. So the Lord has told us to select responsible people, select people who are going to be godly with wisdom. That choice is in your hand, and we're going to get what you vote for. If you vote for corruption, you're going to get corruption. That's what happens. If you vote for good, honest government, you're going to get that. So make a wise decision. And please know that coming up next year, Alabama's also been known as one of the corrupt states because people go vote. Just tell them because somebody else say go vote for a political party. Don't vote for a political party. Vote for a person and choose who you think the best person is. Okay, enough said. One more reminder I want to let you know about is reminding I'm pushing the women's conference here and the Unleashed conference, which is getting ready. Go register for it. And if you'd like to, if you got a business and you want to sponsor, be a sponsor for some of the things that's going on there, go to Unleash at guidinglight.org. That'll put you on our page. Let's see if I can do that. Unleash, Leash. It's Unleash at guidinglight.org because we're trying to push more people to our website. Go there and let's see. You can actually get there, and we'll put that up there so you can see it. Move the flyer. Oh, there's the thing pressing toward my breakthrough, and go up there and you can actually become a sponsor. There are various things. Take a look at what's going on our Unleashed Women's Conference. Prepare for it because we're expecting that to be a very big event this year. So with all that being said, it's my time to conclude right now. We appreciate you tuning in and observing and seeing what's happening. So until Wednesday night, we continue once again on Wednesday night with our 10 Commandments. And then, of course, Pastor Jim, we're not sure what series he'll be on this Sunday, but you can bet it's going to be quite informative. So God bless you all. Remember this thing. You were created to excel and not fail. That is your divine potential. God bless you.